Welcome to 3 Questions in 3 Minutes, where we sit down with education leaders across the state to discuss the blueprint for Maryland's future. Today, we are joined by Tanya Sweat, Vice President of Advocacy for the Maryland PTA. Let's dive in. Tanya, please tell us about yourself and the work the Maryland PTA is doing for educational equity in our public schools.
Good day, Shamoya, and thank you for having me. I am Tanya Sweat, and I currently serve as the Vice President for Advocacy for Maryland PTA. In conjunction with that work, I'm also an attorney and a community activist and a child advocate. And I've been working as an attorney for 23 years, and I've been advocating for children practically all of my life, but it really has become my focus over the last 4 years.
Awesome. And can you tell us a bit about the work the Maryland PTA does?
The mission of the PTA is to make every child's potential a reality by empowering and engaging families and communities to advocate for all children. And that's what we do. That's our focus. We advocate for every single child, no matter race, creed, religion, color, gender. We don't consider social status. We want every child to have the best opportunities to become who they want to be and achieve the dreams that they have for themselves. And so we advocate in the areas of education. We advocate for health and safety. We advocate in any and every area, social justice, environmental justice, you name it, that will impact our children's lives, because we want them to be safe, we want them to be healthy, and we want them to thrive in our communities and grow to become contributing adults in our society.
Awesome. And can you tell us a bit about what was at stake in the blueprint? How would the blueprint have positively impacted the communities that the Maryland PTA serves?
The blueprint would have overhauled our education system within the state of Maryland. Everybody by now probably knows the history of how we started doing this years ago with the Thornton Commission, and then the Great Recession stepped in and stopped that work. Well, after the Great Recession and the cuts suffered in our educational system, our children began to lag behind national standards and global standards, to be quite honest with you. And so the work of the Kerwin Commission was to elevate Maryland back to the top place in education that the state had enjoyed for many years. And we also want to prepare our children for this 21st century global economy that has been built. It's now about technology. It's about creativity. It's about entrepreneurship. And yes, we still encourage, we appreciate, we congratulate trades, but we want to ensure that every child has the opportunity to explore the work options that are there, to explore going to college if that's what they want to do. We want them to be ready for what the world has for them.
Awesome. And finally, what is your message to lawmakers in the General Assembly with regard to the blueprint?
The biggest message that I have for our lawmakers is we must override the veto. It is important that we invest in our children's education. We are in a pandemic right now, and we're relying so much on science to get us through this. We're also dealing with a lot of social and civil unrest because of the inequalities within our government, within our system, within our nation. The best way to ensure equity and equality for all people is through education. And it starts with our children. Our children now are begging for equality. Our children are begging for justice. And we have to give that to them. And most importantly, the Maryland State Constitution guarantees that to them. So we have to override the governor's veto and implement the blueprint for our future, because ultimately, I'm a middle-aged woman and I've enjoyed a lot of success in my life, but I recognize that my professional life is temporary. At some point, I am going to retire. Somebody's got to step into my place and continue the work that I'm doing. Not just continue it, build upon it, improve it. That is the children who are coming behind me. So, to my lawmakers, our legislators, to our governor, this right here is why we got to override this blueprint for my baby and every other parent's baby in the state of Maryland. And I ask them to do it now.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Tanya, and thank you for the great work that you and the entire team at the Maryland PTA are doing to support educational equity here in Maryland.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you. We will be back soon with another 3 questions in 3 minutes with yet another education leader in Maryland. Until next time.